have to talk a little bit about Eric Hagenbrook, not like Hagen, you guys heard say.
And a half ago, we didn't have the garden ready, and we were looking for someone to construct the design. And I contacted, Nancy Vallarella told me to contact Eric, and I did, and he was very busy. It was his prime season, and he was, I'd like to help you, let me see the plans, I'm interested, but, and then Maria Aubrey over there, Maria, I went to her, she knows everyone, and I said to her, I need someone to do the garden. And she said, I have the person for you. And I said, who is it? She said, Eric from Finesse Landscape. And I said, you're kidding me. I called him, and he's really busy. She said, I'll call him. I'll call him. So then he called me back again, and he expressed more interest. And he took on the project. And I have to tell you, no one could have done this project as well as Eric and his crew did. When you talk about private-public partnerships, Eric's crew donated over 238 hours, I think we talked about, in putting this garden in. That's a huge amount. No one understands what goes into picking out the rocks. How many hours was that?
A long time.
A long time to get the special rocks. Setting the form of the garden. He found a tree that was out there, and the tree was overgrown and it had weeds, and he looked at it and he said, this is gorgeous, the garden. No, this is gorgeous. And he actually cleaned out the entire tree, which was what?
California privet.
A California privet. When we go up there, you'll see it. It has about 20 tree trunks. He cleaned it out. He mulched around it. He did 2 other trees because he couldn't stand his garden not to look perfect. I came back yesterday. He built a bench out there. We needed water out there, so Eric brought in an irrigation person to put water in. And all of these people that we're working with have put in, Eric especially, but they've donated their time. The irrigation person said, well, Eric asked me, so, I'll do it. And he had to hand dig the lines to the garden. So public-private partnership is so important. We hope you'll all think about becoming members of the foundation, as well as think about the Rotary, because this is what we do. We do good things. We hope to expand on this project. We hope Eric decides to help us in the future with more work. Do you want to say anything before I go back? Why don't we do the tasting now so that we can come back at 7:15? So if you want to say
Good evening, everyone. I'll make this as brief as possible.
It's always a good day.
Yep.
And now, in addition to the park, how fortunate are we that we have this garden? And the people who work so hard to bring it to fruition. We could not have done that. I'm going to ask certain people to speak. I'm not going to keep you out here without you whine too long. But we certainly have to thank people. But first, we're going to ask Brian Foley. And Brian Foley is the top guy here on Long Island in New York State Parks and Recreation and Historic Preservation.
That's it.
And you're the regional director.
Deputy regional.
Deputy regional director. I apologize.
A long title.
Brian is a great guy. I know him. We were at a convention together in Boston. So I know you.
Looking at historic sites up there too, by the way.
Yeah,
So,
there you go. It was an interesting, it was during the 9/11.
Park.
And it was an interesting adventure. So,
Thank you, thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I just wanted to say a few words on behalf of the New York State Parks, how thrilled we are that both the Foundation and the Rotary Club work together for something that really is remarkable. And it's in keeping with the theme, in keeping with the vision that the park system has from Niagara Falls to Montauk Point. And that is to have our Parks Department work with local organizations that have an inspirational vision of what they would like to see happen in our state parks. So when both the Foundation and the Rotary Club came to visit Sean Cruikshank at the time, who was the park manager, now it's Bill Pirtle, who no doubt was introduced earlier, and then Sean spoke with me, and then we met with Patricia, and we met with the Foundation as well. We thought this was a great idea. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when and where. And when you look here to have it at this location, so close to the bluff, but being able to look across and seeing Connecticut, this is a remarkable site. You know, we could say this is a landing, if you will, within the park system. So we're just very, very pleased. We know that part of the mission of Rotary in particular is service above self, and this is one of those examples where it is service above self. The Foundation has been working many, many years to have some improvements made to Nissequoque State Park. We think this is a tangible sign of that, and it's a sign of better things to come as we move forward. And also, when I spoke to the newsletter reporter yesterday, I said a healing garden, particularly at this location, given the 100 and some odd year history of this location, it's a very fitting and very appropriate park to have on these psychiatric grounds, where much healing was done, other healing has been attempted to do, but the whole theory, the whole idea of a healing garden on the former Kings Park psychiatric grounds, I think is a very, very fitting way to also give tribute to those and those families that are from Kings Park, who came from other countries, then came here to serve those who had been housed in this location. So whether it's the Foundation, the Rotary Club, this particular healing garden, it all fits well even into a larger thing. And that is how this particular week is a very celebratory week for Kings Park, is it not? With the weekend, we'll all celebrate in various forms the 100th centennial anniversary of the Kings Park Fire Department. In some ways, similar to my own down in Blue Point, where the fire department is one of the centers of community life. So whether it's our celebration here tonight, fire department this weekend, this is a very special time for Kings Park. I'd like to thank you all, and we in State Parks are thrilled to be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you. And Peter, so how fitting we'll get a picture of you with your crew. So first where's Sean?
Sean Cruikshank.
He had to leave.
Yeah.
Sean, as I pointed out before, was instrumental in working with me initially, but Bill and Jeff, you want to step up here?
Bill Patel.
Bill Patel is the new manager park manager here at the Nissequoque River State Park, and Jeff, last name Jeff?
Jeff Mason.
Mason, that's right. Jeff Mason is the park manager over at Sunken Meadows State Park.
Yes.
So these are the guys, the go-to guys. They've been tremendous, helping us with whatever we ask. You cannot find a better crew than these two gentlemen right here, and Sean Cruikshank as well. So, put your hands together. Come on. We expect a lot more.
From my personal point of view, how fitting it is on this property that healed tens of thousands of people over the 100+ years that it operated as a hospital. Now to have this healing garden in this just beautiful location, I think is just, to me, touching, and it's just so fitting. And I would like to especially thank our sponsors, our guys who made it happen, Eric at Finesse Landscaping, again, and the Reichert family. Without them, none of this would have happened. And particularly, I just want a round of applause, if we could, for Pat, whose inspiration and dedication made this. Without her, we would not be here.
Came out to look at the site, and we got to go travel around and find different places. This was my favorite, so we won on that. And Pat has been, definitely the champion of this project, and I want to thank her for that, as well as all my Rotarians at Commack-Kings Park. And thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful site. I'm very proud of the Commack-Kings Park Rotary Club for this beautiful project and getting it done. I've heard about it a lot, and especially for Rotary and the community. You did a fabulous job.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It was a very difficult garden to do because it happened the week of 100 degrees. And of course, 12-hour days. We had to get this done quickly for tonight's celebration of the garden. But I'm very happy that it was all done, completed.
It is.
Wasn't easy. I know it looks easy. We managed to do. One of the things I wanted to do is not to show you how we got stuff in here. What I did was I had a custom golf cart, and all the material went on the golf cart, and I drove on the back side of the buildings. And everything came in a little at a time, just so you don't see no tire tracks coming into the garden. So it wasn't, that's how I pulled it off. And then I said, who's going to water the garden? And Pat said, I have volunteers. And I said, I've been here for 5 days, I haven't seen any volunteers. Then I said, you know what?
I was here, right? Didn't I say
I was here every
I
day,
was here?
and Bill was a great help every day. I needed something. He was right by my hand. What do you need, Eric? But I decided to put a sprinkler system in. And there's no sprinklers anywhere on this property, on the 522 acres, I think, right?
Going to, don't explain too much.
It's temporary, Brian.
Temporary.
It's just to get the garden going because the 100 degrees out, there's no way to keep this
It's
going.
biodegradable.
Shelf life.
I would also be remiss in not inviting Joan to come up and say a few words about her plan.
No.
But Joan McGillicuddy made she's the surrogate gardener for Huntington, and she designed this for us.
Beautiful.
Do you have something you want to say?
Well, the goal was to create an outdoor sanctuary as a healing garden, and this was the perfect spot. We were up on a bluff with the water, viewing there. And what I have to say is a thank you to Eric also, because it was my vision, but he picked out these fabulous, healthy-looking plants and these marvelous stones. And then he looked at this privet tree
Look at our tree of
and
life.
saw the possibilities. And it's just the perfect anchor for the garden and a perfect viewing spot. So I look forward to seeing everything grow, the trees come up, the canopies open up, and create even more of a healing shelter for everyone who comes here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mike, did you want to say anything?
I wasn't was in the administration building when we started. But Brian, I just want to thank you. You've been very, very helpful to the foundation, to the Rotary, and a big asset to this park. So I want to thank you for all your help and everything you've done for us.
Our pleasure.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I